In this video, we will explain absolutely everything you need to know to travel to San Antonio, the most romantic, historic, and charming city in the entire state of Texas. This is the definitive guide and the most complete video you will watch today about the destination where the rich Spanish and Mexican colonial heritage mixes with American grandeur. The place where you can walk underground in illuminated water canals, visit the sacred stones of the battle for Texas independence, and eat the best tacos of your life. We will cover everything from the logistics of how to arrive and get around without falling into expensive parking traps, how to choose the perfect accommodation facing the river, and what is the secret to visiting the old missions by bicycle. We will also tell you about the vital requirement of travel insurance to set foot in the United States and where to taste the perfect fusion of food that unites Texas and Mexico. So let us get started. San Antonio is a city that has a very different soul from the rest of the state. While cities like Houston and Dallas are metropolises focused on business and glass skyscrapers, San Antonio preserves a slower pace focused on culture, historical preservation, and outdoor living. It is a deeply welcoming, colorful, and musical destination that pleases everyone from honeymooning couples to entire families seeking fun in gigantic parks. Now let us move on to logistics and planning. What is the best time to visit San Antonio? The best time by far is spring and autumn, specifically the months of March, April, May, October, and November. In these months, the weather is an absolute spectacle. The days are sunny and pleasant, and the nights are cool, creating the perfect setting to dine outdoors on the banks of the river. In the spring, the city hosts the famous Fiesta San Antonio, which fills the streets with parades and flowers. Summer from June to September is the low season for walking. The heat in South Texas is truly brutal and very humid. Thermometers easily pass 104 degrees Fahrenheit every day, making tours in open places exhausting in the middle of the day. If you go in the summer, focus on the water parks and museums with powerful air conditioning. Winter from December to February usually has very beautiful blue sky days and mild temperatures, but sudden cold fronts can make thermometers plummet quickly, requiring a heavy coat in your suitcase. Around Christmas time, the city is entirely illuminated and gains a surreal charm. And how many days to stay? Many people make the mistake of just taking a one-day trip from Austin, which barely gives you time to see the main sights. To see the basics, visit the fortress, and walk along the river, 2 full days are enough. But to live the complete experience, visit the old Spanish missions, explore the revitalized brewery district, and enjoy the night without rushing. The perfect itinerary requires 3 to 4 full days. Now let us talk about transportation and how to get around. To arrive, you can fly straight into the San Antonio International Airport, which is very practical and is only 15 minutes from downtown. To get around, the dynamics change depending on where you are. The central region where the Great River and the historic center are located was made entirely to be explored on foot. Walking is the rule. Renting a car and trying to park in downtown San Antonio is a huge headache, and daily garage rates are very expensive. If you are going to focus only on the center USAP, drivers to get to and from the airport and do everything walking. However, the attractions in the surrounding areas, such as the old missions, the caves, and the gigantic theme parks, are very far away. If your itinerary includes these areas, renting a car, at least for the last few days, is the best option. The traffic outside the center is very calm, and the highways are excellent. Staying in a good region will define the magic of your trip. The first option, and the most unforgettable experience of all, is to stay in the city center, glued to the Riverwalk. The great secret here is to ask for hotels that have direct access to the water. You take the elevator down, and you are already in the middle of the stone path surrounded by romantic bridges and restaurants without having to cross avenues. It is the best location to do everything on foot. The second option is the Pearl District, located north of the center. It is the most modern and vibrant area of San Antonio right now. It is located around a giant historic brewery that was transformed into a luxurious complex. Staying here puts you steps away from the highest gastronomy in the city, with fabulous boutique hotels and very tree-lined streets. The third option is the Southtown neighborhood and the King William region. It is a wonderful historic residential district full of old 19th century mansions and dozens of art galleries. It is the perfect place for those seeking absolute silence at night, a lot of charm and proximity to excellent local cafes, being a short app ride from the central hustle. We created this personalized map that explains exactly which is the best region to stay. Staying around the Riverwalk or in the charming Pearl neighborhood, you cannot go wrong. We will leave here on the screen code and in the video description the link to this exclusive map. We created them on the hotel site we always use, as it always has the best prices and reliable options. We will also leave links to the hotels we have already stayed at and approved. In all destinations, we always recommend one that is very cheap and super well located for those who want to save money, and another that is a little better in the same location but a little more expensive with more comfort. These are great options tested by us. An important tip to save on accommodation is the advanced strategy. San Antonio is one of the most loved vacation destinations for American families themselves. On long holidays and during summer vacations, hotels in the historic center sell out many months in advance and prices triple. That is why we really like using this site we indicated. In addition to having the lowest prices, it has free cancellation with almost all hotels. You can book as soon as possible to guarantee a much lower price. And if you need to cancel later due to any change of plans, it is super easy and at no cost. And remembering that in this link below, we always organize everything you need to set up your entire trip for the lowest price on a single page. The sites we use to build our trips, and that have everything much cheaper, such as the virtual international cell phone chip, to have fast internet and use transportation apps, travel insurance with discount, which is fundamental in the United States, tickets for theme parks and boat tours, good and cheap hotels we have already stayed at, and the global account to carry your dollars, paying much fewer fees. Save this page in your favorites. Now let us get to the main attractions with details you cannot miss. Attraction number 1 and the romantic soul of the city is the River Walk. It is a spectacular network of canals that cross the city center below street level. You go down stone stairs and enter a parallel world covered by giant tree canopies. There are miles of paved paths, lined with trendy restaurants, charming bars, and mariachis singing live. It is essential to take the guided tour in the small electric boats. The guides tell the legends of the city while you navigate the water curves passing under very old stone bridges. Attraction number 2 is the Alamo. It is an old Spanish mission that became the most revered battle site in the history of the state. In the year 1836, a small group of Texan defenders heroically resisted against the giant Mexican army for 13 days. The site is considered sacred ground. Entrance to the original stone church is free, and the energy of the place nestled right in the middle of the modern downtown buildings is chilling. Attraction number 3 is the San Antonio Missions National Historical Park. Besides the Alamo, the city preserves 4 other stunning Catholic missions built by the Spanish in the 18th century. They were declared a World Heritage Site. The most famous and unmissable is Mission San Jose, known as the Queen of the Missions because of its impeccably restored limestone church and its immense stone walls. The best way to see the park is to rent a bicycle in the center and go down the completely flat and tree-lined bike path that connects all the missions along the river. Attraction number 4 is the Tower of the Americas. Located inside Hemisphere Park, this impressive tower, of over 650 feet high, was built for the 1968 World Fair. You take an elevator to the observation deck and have a 360-degree panoramic view of the entire metropolis spread out to the horizon. There is also a fabulous revolving restaurant at the top ideal for an unforgettable sunset dinner. Attraction number 5 is the historic market square called El Mercado. It is simply the largest Mexican market outside of Mexico. There are several streets and indoor and outdoor warehouses painted in extremely vibrant colors. The place is an explosion of culture where you walk, listening to a lot of Latin music, see artisans working in leather and silver, and find dozens of stalls selling embroidered clothes, hand-painted ceramics, and giant mariachi hats. Attraction number 6 is the Pearl District. It was a huge industrial brewery that operated from the 19th century until closing its doors recently. The entire red brick complex was revitalized and transformed into the chicest area of the city. The old factory today houses restaurants run by starred chefs, wonderful artisanal bakeries, interior design stores, and the renowned Culinary Institute of America. On weekends, the Central Square hosts one of the best local farmers markets in the state. An important tip that will save you time and money is to buy tickets for paid attractions, such as riverboat tours, guided double-decker bus tours, and tickets to the large theme parks in advance online. At the height of summer, the physical box offices have cruel lines under almost unbearable heat. We will leave in the screen code and in the description the link to the site where we always buy tickets and tours for the lowest price and very easily guaranteeing quick access. Now let us move on to gastronomy. The food in San Antonio is one of the most vibrant in the United States and the absolute birthplace of Tex-Mex cuisine. This brilliant fusion mixes the intense flavors of northern Mexico with the gigantic portions and ingredients of Texas. The dish most loved by locals is the puffy tacos, a fresh corn dough that is deep fried until it puffs up and gets crispy on the outside, being filled with seasoned shredded beef, chopped lettuce, and melted cheese. Sit down at one of the wonderful restaurants by the river and order a platter of enchiladas covered with a lot of red chili sauce accompanied by delicious rice and beans. The beef and chicken fajitas that arrive at the table still smoking and sizzling on the hot iron plate are mandatory. If you want to change your palate, you are still in Texas. So look for the barbecue masters to devour perfect slices of brisket roasted slowly over wood. And to drink, the city is the capital of the classic margarita. Order your glass with plenty of ice and salt on the rim to accompany the snacks and beat the midday heat. Quick and in-depth shopping tips. San Antonio does not disappoint those who have extra space in their suitcase. For open-air luxury shopping, visit the shops at La Cantera. a beautiful mall where you walk along flowered sidewalks under large tents and find exclusive global designer brands. If you prefer the comfort of air conditioning, the North Star Mall is the best choice. It is impossible to miss it because right at the highway entrance are two giant 40-foot-high cowboy boots, sculpted in material that imitates leather and ostrich scales, making for hilarious photos. For those seeking insane discounts, San Antonio is the best starting point. Driving about 45 minutes north on the main highway, you arrive in San Marcos. There are the two largest outlet mall centers glued to each other, forming the largest discount complex in all of North America, with brands selling products up to 70% cheaper than in regular storefronts. What to do at night? Nightlife in San Antonio has rhythms for all ages. For couples, the perfect night happens around the river walk. Walking along the stone paths right after dinner, listening to the river water hit the boats, and the romantic music coming out. The restaurant Windows is the most traditional program. If you are looking for high-end cocktails and a more refined atmosphere with the wealthy residents of the city, the wonderful bars inside and around the Pearl neighborhood serve exclusive drinks and soft music in super cozy exposed brick environments. For those who want to extend the night, the St. Mary's Strip region is the epicenter of the excitement where live rock bands and indie music play late into the night in cool bars with a very young energy. And if you are traveling with kids, San Antonio is by far the most complete family vacation destination in Texas. The riverboat ride is peaceful, safe, and children are fascinated when passing under the bridges. The city has one of the largest water and marine life amusement parks in the world, SeaWorld, in addition to the spectacular Six Flags Fiesta Texas, which has breathtaking roller coasters designed around gigantic rock walls. For hot days, take the little ones to the Doseum, which is the interactive children museum full of inventions where they can touch, play, and burn energy inside a safe and cool environment. Mandatory documentation for international tourists and safety. San Antonio is an extremely hospitable city, and tourist areas like the Riverwalk, the Pearl District, and the surroundings of the Alamo are heavily guarded and very safe both day and night. The main care should be common sense in empty streets far from the center and attention to wallets and bags on long holiday weekends and street events where there is a large crowd. If you rent a car, do not leave bags or valuables, such as glasses and backpacks, visible on the seats. Always put everything in the dark trunk, so as not to attract crimes of opportunity. The greatest real danger in the city is the brutal heat stroke. In the peak summer months, drink plenty of water all the time. Visa. Remember that to enter the state of Texas, you need the American tourist visa in your valid passport. The entire process takes months to be finalized at the embassies or consulates in your country. Travel insurance. The American healthcare system bill is one of the scariest on the planet. Foreign tourists have no right to free public healthcare there. Traveling to South Texas and eating spicy food or adventuring on roller coasters under intense heat without excellent international travel insurance is risking a lifetime of financial planning. The most basic emergency medical care costs thousands of dollars. We never travel without it. And in the link in the description, there is the comparator we always use to find the perfect and complete American insurance for half the price, and to combine your trip. The location of San Antonio is phenomenal for extending your vacation. Just an hour and a half driving north on impeccable highways, you arrive in Austin, the state capital, the opposite of San Antonio, in rhythm and soul, full of glass skyscrapers, rock music pulsing in the streets, and a much more rebellious energy. Driving about 40 minutes towards the mountains, you enter the famous region known as the Texas Hill Country. There, you can spend the day in the wonderful and picturesque town of Fredericksburg, founded by German immigrants, which has a main street full of delicious European restaurants and dozens of wonderful award-winning wineries where you spend the afternoon doing wine tastings, feeling the country wind. If you liked this complete and deep guide about San Antonio, like the video and subscribe to our channel to travel always more and better around the world. Thank you very much, and have a safe trip.